Hathor, the goddess of love, beauty, music, dancing, fertility, and pleasure. Hathor is often depicted as a cow-headed woman, or a woman with cow horns with the sun disk nestled between them. Hathor, one of the most beloved and iconic deities in ancient Egyptian mythology, was depicted in several forms, reflecting her complex and varied nature. 1. Human woman. Hathor was often shown as a woman wearing a headdress that included cow horns with a sun disk nestled between them. This depiction emphasized her connection to the sky and the sun. 2. Cow. As a celestial goddess, Hathor was also depicted as a full cow, symbolizing her maternal and nurturing aspects. This form highlights her role as a provider of nourishment and protection. 3. Cow-headed woman. In some representations, Hathor combines her human and bovine aspects, appearing as a woman with the head of a cow. This form underscores her fertility and maternal attributes. 4. Sistrum. Hathor was frequently associated with the sistrum, a musical instrument that was used in her worship. The sistrum's handle sometimes features Hathor's face, underscoring her connection to music and dance. Each of these forms had symbolic significance, contributing to Hathor's roles as a goddess of love, motherhood, music, and joy. Her imagery was designed to evoke a sense of beauty, benevolence, and divine majesty. Hathor is indeed one of the most versatile and venerated goddesses in ancient Egyptian mythology, embodying a wide array of roles and attributes. Here are some more detailed aspects of her character and worship. Roles and symbolism. 1. Goddess of love and joy. Hathor was known as the mistress of love, similar to other love deities like Aphrodite or Venus in Greek and Roman mythologies. She was associated with romance, beauty, and passion. 2. Music and dance. As the patroness of music and dance, Hathor was connected to the arts. She was often depicted playing the sistrum, a musical rattle, which was used in her rituals to drive away evil spirits and to celebrate joyous occasions. 3. Fertility and motherhood. Hathor was revered as a divine mother figure, akin to Isis. She was invoked by women to aid conception and childbirth, reflecting her role as a nurturing goddess. 4. Protection. Hathor was believed to protect women in particular, but she also watched over men. She was thought to assist the deceased in their journey into the afterlife, offering them food and drink. 5. Connection to royalty. Hathor was often linked to the pharaohs. She was called the Great One of many names, and was seen as the symbolic mother of the pharaoh, who was often referred to as the son of Hathor. Worship and temples. Dendera Temple Complex. One of the best-preserved temple sites dedicated to Hathor is located in Dendera, in Upper Egypt. This temple complex showcases magnificent architecture and relief carvings that depict Hathor and the rituals performed in her honor. Festivals. The Festival of Hathor, known as the Feast of Drunkenness, was celebrated with great enthusiasm. It commemorated the story of Hathor as the Eye of Ra, who, in one myth, was sent by Ra to punish humanity but was later pacified and brought joy and celebration instead of destruction. This festival involved music, dance, and, as the name suggests, controlled intoxication to emulate the ecstatic state that brought Hathor back to humanity in a peaceful guise. Iconography. Symbols. Hathor was often depicted with symbols of femininity and life such as the ankh, symbol of life, the manat, a ritual necklace thought to convey her protection and fertility, and the mirror, reflecting beauty and truth. Associations with other deities. Hathor was sometimes merged with other goddesses such as Sekhmet, the lioness goddess, reflecting the duality of her nurturing and destructive aspects. She was also closely associated with Isis, sharing many attributes and functions. Hathor's enduring popularity in ancient Egypt can be attributed to her encompassing so many aspects of life and existence, from the most everyday activities like music and dance to the profound events of birth and death. Hathor's worship can be traced back to at least the Second Dynasty, circa 2890 c. 2686 BCE, and she possibly originated as a personification of the Milky Way, which was seen as the milk that flowed from the udders of a heavenly cow. The name Hathor translates to House of Horus, linking her to Horus, the sky god, suggesting her role as the sky itself where Horus, as the sun god, resided. Development and worship. As Egyptian civilization progressed, Hathor's roles expanded. 1. As mother and wife. Hathor was often considered the mother of Horus and the wife of Ra, integrating her into the most significant mythological family that influenced the kingship and cosmic order of Egypt. 2. Patroness of miners. In the Middle Kingdom, circa 2055, 1650 BCE, Hathor became associated with the Sinai Peninsula, where Egyptian miners extracted turquoise and copper. She was revered as the Lady of Turquoise and Mistress of the West. 3. Universal Goddess. By the New Kingdom, circa 1550-1077 BCE, Hathor was a universally worshipped goddess, embodying joy, feminine love, motherhood, and beauty. Temples and chapels dedicated to her were established throughout Egypt and even beyond its borders. Temples and iconography. Dendera Temple. One of her most famous cult centers was at Dendera, where the Temple of Hathor stands. This temple complex is one of the best preserved in Egypt, featuring incredible inscriptions, reliefs, and architectural innovations dedicated to her. It shows her in various forms, including as a cow, a woman with the ears of a cow, and wearing her characteristic headdress of cow horns and a sun disk. Iconography. Hathor was uniquely versatile in her depictions, appearing as a woman, cow, or a combination of both. Her imagery often included the Ankh symbol, representing life, and the sistrum, reflecting her association with music and dance. Religious practices. Festivals and rituals. The Festival of Hathor, particularly at Dendera, included rituals of music, dance, and revelry that mimicked celestial patterns and sought her blessing. The rituals often involved processions and offerings of music and alcohol, believed to invoke her protective and nurturing qualities. Influence and legacy. Hathor's influence extended into the Greco-Roman period, where she was identified with Aphrodite and Venus, continuing her associations with love and beauty. Her worship only declined with the rise of Christianity in the Roman Empire, leading to the abandonment of traditional Egyptian religious practices. Overall, Hathor's enduring presence in Egyptian religion reflects her fundamental role in representing and nurturing the essential aspects of life and happiness, cementing her status as one of ancient Egypt's most beloved deities. The worship of Hathor, one of ancient Egypt's most popular and enduring deities, was characterized by a wide range of rituals, celebrations, and an extensive network of temples and shrines throughout Egypt and even into neighboring regions. Here's a closer look at the key aspects of her worship. Temples and shrines. Hathor had numerous temples dedicated to her across Egypt, with the most famous being the Temple of Hathor at Dendera. This temple complex was not only a religious center but also a site of pilgrimage and healing, believed to be imbued with Hathor's powers. Dendera Temple Complex. This is perhaps the best example of a site dedicated to Hathor, featuring extensive and elaborate decorations, including celestial imagery and depictions of Hathor in her various forms. Pilgrims visited the temple to seek blessings, healing, and divine favor. Other temples. Other notable temples included those at Deir el-Medina, a workers' village, where Hathor was worshipped as the patron of the craftsmen, and the Temple of Hathor at Philae, which was shared with Isis. Rituals and festivals. Hathor was celebrated through various rituals and festivals, which often emphasized joy and community participation. The Feast of Drunkenness. This was one of her most famous festivals, commemorating the return of the goddess from her wrathful destruction. It was celebrated with music, dancing, and, notably, ritualistic drunkenness to imitate and commune with the goddess's ecstatic state. The beautiful Festival of the Valley. Hathor was also central in this festival, which involved processions carrying the statues of Ammonius, Mut, and Khonsu from Karnak to the west bank of Luxor to visit the necropolis and mortuary temples, including that of Hathor. It was a time of connection between the living and the dead, with families visiting the tombs of their ancestors. Daily worship and priesthood. Daily rites. Hathor's temples performed daily rituals which included cleansing, clothing, and feeding the statue of the goddess, similar to the rites performed for other major deities. These rituals were intended to maintain ma'at, or cosmic order, in the goddess's favor. Priesthood. Hathor's priests and priestesses, often musicians and singers due to her association with music and dance, played an essential role in her worship. They performed music and dance thought to please the goddess and were involved in the interpretation of dreams and oracles. Iconography and symbols. Sistrum. The sistrum, a musical instrument resembling a rattle, was emblematic of Hathor. It was used in rituals to appease and invoke the goddess, believed to drive away evil spirits through its sound. Mirrors and jewelry. Objects associated with beauty, such as mirrors and elaborate jewelry, were often dedicated to Hathor, aligning with her domains over beauty and femininity. Influence beyond Egypt. Hathor's worship extended beyond the borders of Egypt. She was revered in parts of the Near East and interacted with local deities in regions like Canaan. Her influence was such that she was sometimes syncretized with local goddesses, demonstrating her adaptability and widespread appeal. Hathor's worship reflects the richness of ancient Egyptian religious practices, deeply intertwined with daily life, the arts, and the afterlife beliefs. Her role as a goddess of life's joys and pleasures made her one of the most beloved figures in Egyptian mythology.